We are going to start right off with a verse this week. Do you guys remember what we're talking about in the series? I know it's been a week off, but
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
Our favorite superhero films.
Well, that's part of it. But why are we talking about that? What are we talking about in the Bible?
Superhumans.
So, we are talking about miracles that Jesus performed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why the theme is superhuman, the things that are beyond being human, right? So we're going to jump to our first verse is Matthew 8. I don't see a lot of Bibles opening, so Matthew 8:5 is where we're going to start.
Use 8.
Do you guys know where Matthew is?
It's in the New Testament.
Yep.
That's the first one.
Yes. It's the first book in the New Testament.
Matthew what?
Matthew 8. Verse 5 is where we're going to start.
I have no idea.
Open after Matthew.
Whoa, what?
That's a long one.
Why'd you put that one in
So, do you guys remember why there's red?
there? Yes, that's Jesus talking.
Yes. Okay. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came up to him. Do you guys know what a centurion is?
Yeah. Oh.
He's a Roman soldier, but like a high-up Roman soldier, right? So they'd be like a lieutenant or a sergeant, like in charge of people in the military. Okay? So they're important military people as a centurion. It's a volunteer shirt. We just got it this morning.
It's worse.
So a centurion came to him, asking for help. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home paralyzed, suffering terribly. And Jesus said to him, shall I come and heal him? The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. And we're going to stop right there. What's he saying? What's this guy saying? Jesus said, I'll come over. What did the guy say in response?
No, you shouldn't be able to say the words. You don't deserve. You're way too big.
Why is that important?
What
does that mean?
To God.
Right?
Yep.
So, he's not saying come over and touch him so he's healed. He's saying you're so powerful that if you just say he'll be healed, he'll be healed. That's what he's saying, right? I believe in you so much that I know if you go, okay, he's better now, I believe that he's going to be better. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said the following to him. Truly I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. I say to you that many will come from the east and the west, and will take their places at the feast of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the subjects of the kingdom will be thrown outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then Jesus said to the centurion, go, let it be done just as you believed it would. And his servant was healed at that moment.
Wow.
When we think of superheroes, what do people usually think about them? Yeah, they have superpowers. But what's the first thing? Like, why are there bad guys?
Protector.
Because there's always a way to beat a superhero, right? I did some math here, okay?
Wait, are we allowed to go see Endgame with you guys?
Endgame is going to be it's just a high school event.
Of course it is.
So the fact that they're letting us take junior high is a big thing. So,
Well, whoever made the rules.
they're split into 3 services out there. So they're allowing us to come with at all. They don't have to do that. So I did some math here, okay? I looked up how strong Superman is, okay? He can lift 4 trillion pounds.
That's like
Okay? You guys know what the Empire State Building is? He can lift 5,500 of those at once. That's how strong Superman is. So, that's a lot. But you bring Krypton, and he's just a regular dude, right? Like even in the last Batman vs Superman, they just shoot him with some kryptonite grenade and he's just done for,
I
right?
didn't know that was his card.
Yeah. Oh,
Sean,
but-
your name is S-A-S-E-A-N?
Yes.
You're supposed to write.
Superman from the
Okay.
place of Krypton. He did not have superpowers
What about
there.
what about the Flash?
He's fast.
How fast?
No, he doesn't.
I saw in one
You may.
one septosecond
No.
he tuned every single radio in the world. So in like one tiny fraction of a second, every single radio in the world. That's how fast it is.
It's like,
Here's another thing. His brain processes everything within less than an attosecond, which is extremely fast. The fastest that something that has been created can process is 12 attoseconds, I believe.
Yeah.
He can process everything quicker than that.
So
Flash.
he's so fast he can go back in time and change stuff, right? What happens when he does that?
Flash just started happening.
Stuff up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I need the peanut gallery to stop from back there though. So that's like no matter what, he can do all this crazy stuff. He still messes up, right? Does anybody watch the CW shows at all?
no.
There's literally like a version of death to chase the Flash because he's so fast that something was created to stop him from doing that stuff, right? What about yeah? There's a reverse Flash.
Yeah, I believe. What was his name?
Yeah, there's so many speedsters.
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver's Marvel though. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of them. So about the Hulk. Did anybody see the really bad Incredible Hulk movie that's part of the Marvel
The
universe?
one that he fights with Abomination.
Yeah. So
I didn't.
And the helicopter.
they have a 50 caliber machine gun. You guys seen 50 caliber
Those are
bullets?
like a sniper, right?
Yeah, they're like this
Those
big.
bullets.
Yeah.
Like if somebody gets shot with a 50 caliber bullet, there's like a Hulk. Like you get hit in the arm, you don't have an arm. It's a strong, it's just automatic fire, and he just goes, like that's pretty durable, right? But as soon as he cools off, he's just a dude,
Just a dude.
right? Like,
But he's super intelligent.
yeah, he's smart, but then also when he's the Hulk, he's just dumb.
It's a dumb man. No.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that one thing.
Envy, bro.
And that one.
No spoilers, I'll kick you out.
And he's
Okay. What? So here's the thing.
like, what are you?
All of these superheroes, it doesn't matter who it is, everybody has limitations. And I mean, especially looking at like DC, the Justice League. What's Batman's role in the Justice League? Does anybody know?
He comes back alive.
Basically the leader, but.
He has a plan to take out any one of those people if they go rogue.
Guess what, Sean? So, Fortnite, there's a thing called.
This doesn't- no.
No, wait.
No.
Please, it's
We'll talk
what we're
about Fortnite.
talking about. It's what we're talking about.
So Batman has a plan to take out every single superhero if they go bad. Superman goes bad, he can take him out. Flash goes bad, he can take him out. Wonder Woman. Any of those people that
He
are
knows, like, they're, like.
he knows exactly what to do to take each one of those people out because they all have limitations, right? Jesus doesn't,
Because Jesus is. Because Jesus
He's a
right?
the one taking
Like
it.
legitimate, right here, he didn't go up and touch the guy. He didn't fix his legs right there. He didn't take a look, give him medicine, nothing. He just said, he's better. The guy's better. That's all he did, right?
Probably just think. And like think.
So he did this. Normally, when he went and healed people, he'd go right up to them, right? He'd touch them and heal them.
Or they touch
Why do you think he did that?
Because he didn't want to walk away.
He would do that because that's easier for somebody to understand, right? You gotta think, this is before any of our technology, right? This is before electricity. So if he's just like looking at somebody and healing them all over the place, they're gonna be like, uh-oh, this guy, this some sounded wizard, I don't like it. Get him out of here, right? So he's going up and he's performing these miracles right there to be there so people can see who he is. He's not just like, oh, nobody has leprosy anymore in the whole world. He could, but he doesn't do that because he doesn't want people to just panic, right? Yeah. He doesn't just, and then they're good, right? So this time he shows what he can actually do to just say, hey, that guy that I literally haven't even looked at, he's better now.
I don't even know where he is.
Yeah, you haven't told me anything. He's good. Because the centurion believed so strongly in him that he knew Jesus could do that. Even though Jesus had never done something like that before, right? So, that is huge faith, right? A massive amount of faith. But each of you guys can have that same faith, right? So, Jesus wants to handle stuff for us, right? Because life is hard, like, most of the time. He wants to handle those things for us, but he's not just going to sit there and make things easy for you. Right? Yeah, he's not just going to give everything to you. Because then what happens to you?
Then
Don't learn.
Yeah, you don't grow, right?
doesn't happen.
This is probably, Pastor, what's up?
There's this picture, it was like, why do you set goals? Because if you're basing that on nowhere, that's just where you're going. So like,
Yeah.
if he helps you all of a sudden it stops, then
Yeah, what are you going to do from there? So, this is probably before you guys' time, but there's a TV show called Lost. Did anybody watch that?
I heard. I've never seen the movie
Get out.
I have.
I saw that.
Yeah, so in Lost, there's a guy who is giving a lesson to somebody, right? So there's a butterfly or a moth, I can't remember which one it is, but it's in its little cocoon, right? And so there's a hole in the top that this insect has to push its way out, right? And so he says, I could, take my knife, I can carefully just open this little hole up, right? And then it could get out, no problem. But if I did that, it would not know how to fly and it would just not survive, right?
what do you
The moth or the butterfly, I can't remember which one it is.
Speaking of
But,
Butterfly.
so, if Jesus just did everything for us and fixed all our problems, we would never grow and change, right? Because we need that to grow and change. Like, hermit crabs stay small, crabs they grow into. So, when Jesus was physically here, he performed a bunch of miracles, right? We have a whole bunch of stories of him. Healing the blind, fixing this paralyzed guy, right? We have a bunch of those stories. People physically saw those things happening, right? Just because he's not physically here in a human form anymore, doesn't mean that those miracles will stop. Right? You hear about medical miracles all the time. They shouldn't have survived. We have no idea why this happened, right?
Yep.
My dad had a heart attack,
Really?
and they're supposed to have a triple bypass. So that means that they're opening up 3 different parts near his heart. And he said, no, I'm good. They checked the next day, and it was healed. And the doctor said, I've never seen anything like that before. And he said, no, I knew it was going to be better.
Your dad's a miracle.
Right? Like,
My mom's friend, he had like this brain problem, and 99% of people that got it died. And he got brain surgery, and he had a 1% chance of surviving, and he did survive. So
Yeah.
we call him a walking miracle.
yeah. There's miracles like that all the time, right? So, it's easy for us, especially out here, we believe in things that we can see, right? So I'm sure it was a lot easier to believe that Jesus could do miracles if you stood next to him and you saw him make a paralyzed guy walk, right?
He actually did that.
Yeah, like that would be easy to believe. It's a lot harder for us to believe, right? But like this guy, he believed so much that Jesus was just like, all right, I got you, right? So the big thing to take away from this, I'm seeing right in front of it, is that there are no limitations to what Jesus can do, right? And he knows what effects things are going to have. Okay? So,
Not even dead can hold Jesus.
yes. Last week, right? Last week we celebrated Easter because he came back from the dead, which shouldn't be possible, right?
I
So-
can't good zombies.
I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of
Call of
zombies
Duty.
lately.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's not real though.
Wait. Well, because Seal said video games are going to get with that.
Oh.
So, when we die, it's just our physical body that dies. Our soul is what goes to heaven. So your soul doesn't die and come back, right?
What is he?
What? Yeah. You can ask me later. Josh might have extra ones.
Really?
Yeah. So, Josh, our campus pastor. Okay. So, Jesus is not limited by these things, since we've gone on a tangent now. Right? There's nothing that can hold him back at all. Doesn't matter that he's physically here or not. And by having faith, because Jesus can do this stuff no matter what, right? Whether or not we believe in him. He's not like Tinkerbell. If you're like, no, I don't really believe in him, dies, right? No, he can do these things whether or not we believe in him. But it's still nice, right? He likes when we believe in him and when we praise him. So let's go to the next slide.
Because I got like this little mental picture of like Jesus with like little fairy wings.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works for you, man.
I was just like, I don't think that's the right image.
So this, very simple. Whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God, right? No matter what you're doing, praise God. Pretty simple, right? I like to think of it as like a report card. Your parents are going to know your grades no matter what, right?
Always. Middle school's nightmare.
But they still get excited when you bring them a good grade, right? If you're like, I killed it on the Spanish test, I got a 98%. They're excited, right? They're going to see those grades anyways. They can get in contact with your teachers. Believe me, they can. They know what's going on. But to hear you tell it is still awesome to them.
That's all I'm like.
Yeah, Rocky does. Like, you don't bring home your report card because it's bad. Your parents can just walk upstairs and go talk to their girlfriends because your parents forgot their school. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be back in like my day, you could actually like scrape off like your report card and like put the grade on there that you wanted.
Don't do that. That's,
Well, no, you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's all online.
well, I mean, if you're a good hacker, maybe. I don't understand how computers work, so.
I don't know what that
Numbers.
So-
scare me.
When we have faith in Jesus, like that centurion had faith, he gets excited about it, right? That's what he came down here for, is for us. He's excited anything good that happens to us, he's excited about it. Have you guys ever talked to somebody that's talking about something you have no idea what they're saying? You're just so excited, and so you start to get excited too? That's my friend Kellen. He is getting a master's in electrical engineering or mechanical engineering, or one of them that I don't even know which one it is because it's so far beyond what I understand, right? And he's telling me about these drones that he made and how the motor works and stuff. It all over my head. I don't retain any of it. But I love having that conversation because he's so excited that I get excited, right? That's how Jesus is for all of us. Anytime we're stoked about something, he's stoked too. So, I want you guys to also remember there is nothing that Jesus can't do.
So you can
Why
do
is
it
that?
for all.
Why is there nothing that Jesus can't do?
He's the Son of God.
Yeah, he's God. Right? So, easy one to remember. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word is Jesus, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Pretty simple. Jesus can do all this stuff because he's literally God. Right?
That's not.
He doesn't need to find any infinity stones. He just, right?
Well, why would he snap?
He doesn't have to. He can.
Never mind.
Okay.
Into existence, so we're all bad.
So, he created everything. Right? You guys know what the Trinity is?
I've heard about
The
it.
Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. That's all the same dude, right? So they're all the same person. They were all there when the earth was created. It's just different ways that we understand God, right? So Jesus was there for creation. He can do literally anything. It's called omnipotent. He's all powerful. Right? And he loves each and every one of us, so he will help us in any way that he can. And there's an important point I want to make here that doesn't mean he's going to make everything easy for us, right? Because life itself is hard, right? There's a lot of hard stuff that happens in life. But you come out better on the other side, right?
Yep.
You guys know that I had a bunch of surgeries when I was in high school, right?
Yeah, about your kidney?
Lungs, but close.
Same thing.
Yeah, I don't think you use your kidneys to breathe though.
What happened?
So my lung just collapsed. They can't tell me why. They did all the tests and had no idea,
Play
right?
soccer.
No.
Any
They said if you're a skinny guy, this happens a lot. Just skinny guys get this. So I was in the hospital. Every time it happened, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, right? And it's not super comfortable, hospital beds already. And I had, it's called a trauma tube. It's about this thick. I had one of those in my side. So I'm not like laying on a nice feathery mattress, right? I'm not just drifting off into dreamland. I'm pretty uncomfortable most of the time. And nobody stays there after hours. You know, usually somebody from my family would sleep at the hospital, but they'd be asleep. So I'd just be up and like annoyed.
Can't sleep because there's something in your body.
Yeah, I mean, it's not natural. It was sitting on top of my lung.
It's like going
Right.
to sleep with a knife in your shoes. Or a knife in your shoes.
In your chest, yeah, it's,
In your foot.
yeah, it was the most uncomfortable. And on this side, they didn't put, so this side they put it in my side. On this side, they couldn't get it in on my side, so it was in my back. So I was laying on it constantly, right? So I'm not sleeping great, is what I'm saying.
You're so tired.
Just sitting up. Oh gosh.
So when I was up, there's nothing else to do, right? I couldn't bring my Xbox in, there's no hookup. So I had one person to talk to. That's Jesus. Right? That's when my faith went from like 0 to 100. Right? Because that's all I had to do. I don't think I'd be here today speaking on Sundays or anything like that. I would have taken a different path because that changed me in my faith, right? That was me being in that cocoon, and I had to get past that to open up and become the beautiful butterfly that I am today. Right? And I want you guys to know I am a beautiful butterfly now.
Everybody does say yes, you are.
You're funny.
I'm a hard chicken nugget.
I am funny, but looks aren't everything.
Please go come on. So we have this statue thing, I don't know what it is. But there's a bunch of shoes in there, socks, and we were cleaning it out. And we took out Cordell's sock with a rock cocoon on it.
A cocoon and the bug was inside it.
Oh,
The
good.
inside of the sock.
Your dad cut it open and killed it. It was funny. Wait, who's?
He's a mother. It was inside of the sock.
That's gross.
You should ask him next service.
I will ask. I'll call him out in front of him now. That doesn't mean.
They could have moved that mom into a sock.
Hey Cordell, don't you have a moth fart? Like in your sock drawer?
No, you should because he threw a chair last week at Kate's back. Right in my back.
Yeah.
He threw a ball at him, so he picked up the chair and chucked it across the room.
You guys got a
Why?
home it here,
Yeah.
right? You guys can rough house at home, but if one of you guys gets hurt here, that's pretty bad.
Our mom would be shocked. Our mom and dad
Okay.
wouldn't care. She'd be like, yeah.
So we can talk about this. Let's recap.
From last Sunday.
Let's recap what we learned, okay? What do we learn about Jesus today?
He's Miracle Man.
He does miracles.
That he is mucho powerful.
Mucho powerful.
That you know, that he doesn't have to like know what's wrong with the person.
Yeah, you can just heal stuff. I'm looking for something
So depend on him.
covers. No, you should depend on him,
Oh,
but
like, don't think he's gonna do everything.
yeah, don't think he's gonna do everything for you.
You were hurt.
One thing, Jesus doesn't have any limitations.
Oh.
Is our first part of this lesson, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see your hand up. I thought you were taking a rest. So Jesus doesn't have limitations, right? And why doesn't Jesus have limitations?
Because he's God.
Because he's God, right? And we want to rely on Jesus, but we want to trust that he knows better than we do, right? So this is my favorite way to explain that. If you're walking from tile to tile here, right? You can only see that next tile in front of you. God can see all the way to the wall. So God knows, hey, this might be the easy thing to happen. This might be what you want to happen. But that's not what's going to be best for you in the long run.
I can see all the way to the wall.
Oh.
Science. Not the point.
It's not the point.
It's
So,
science. But it's true.
so the way you should think of it is you can only see that little bit that's in front of you.
Maybe this will help.
Yeah.
Imagine yourself in like a cave with no light, it's completely dark, and the only thing you have is like this little lighter, right?
Yeah.
You can literally only see like a foot in front of you.
Yeah.
Just
Where-
in the barrel each one.
And Jesus has high-grade night vision now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he can see. So Jesus knows what is ahead of you and what the best path is going to be, even if it's not the easy path. So when something bad happens, don't think, oh, Jesus let this happen to me. Look at it and say, what can I learn from this? How can I grow out of this?
There's a cool scripture too that says God won't put anything on you more than what you can bear.
Yeah.
So if He's allowing something to try you or test you,
One of the big things I was thinking about this week, because I have a coworker who I do not get along with, right? And I had to spend all day Friday with him. And I was thinking that when you ask God for patience, he's going to test your patience.
oh, you should never ask God for
Don't
patience.
ever
Yeah.
So when you say, hey, make me brave, okay, just leave it. He is going to test your bravery, right? If you say, hey, help me on this test, he's going to put you in a situation where you have to study for it, right? He's not just going to give you things, he's going to give you a way to earn things. So don't think, oh, hey, like, I must not be on Jesus' good side. No. Know that Jesus is going to give you ways to grow, right? So, Jesus has no limitations because he is God, and he's not just going to treat you to everything you want. He's going to make you earn it, right? So, to end today, since it's our last Superhuman,
We have a quiz.
we're having a Supergirl quiz, okay?
I wasn't here. Is it
It's not answers I've given out.
Is it mine?
These
or
are,
is it yours?
it's both. And it's comic books
Oh.
and it's cinematic universe.
All of us were.
So-
all of us
Are
were
Marvel?
in it.
Blake, can you go get, it's in one of these two cabinets. There's just sheets of paper.
Oh.
So get a sheet of paper for everybody.
Answer it. Like,
And Richard, if you're up, can you grab pencils for all of them? I didn't teach you any of this stuff in the lesson. So this is random knowledge. So for each one that you get right, you're gonna get 10 points, okay? So
how many questions are there?
there's 10. So you can get 100 points.
That's what all of us are gonna get. Don't jinx us. We're gonna get a Here you go.
Some of these are pretty hard. Some of these are pretty hard. Okay? So when we're done, we're all gonna swap. You need to put your name at the top because this is how I'm gonna take your attendance today for points, right?
She's not gonna
Okay.
We all have one thing. You don't get a play.
Actually, I do.
Yeah, no, he gets to play. Because he's gonna do it this round. If he doesn't do it this round, he's gonna know the answers for next round. Okay? So, yes.
Can we work together?
No. This is singular knowledge here. Okay?
Yay!
So, you need to write your name down and put down, if you turned your phone in, put phone on there. If you brought a Bible, put Bible on there. You're all going to get participation points. Okay?
I have no hard surface.
That's why we have Bibles.
About a bit.
Okay.
Look, I like you.
Okay. Everybody have paper and a pencil.
In the middle, sharp.
Yeah, anything to write with. Okay. Where's our basket with writing utensils back there?
So I'll go over to the
Write your name, number of 1 to 10. If you come in, you have to take a quiz, Aiden.
Come take it. Aiden.
He'll do it next time. Okay? Okay. So, when we go through the answers, I'm going to see if you guys can guess it as a class, but you're only going to get points for what you write on the paper, okay? If you're not ready, raise your hand.
Actually, I have a question about what if said character has multiple different personas? Are you looking for one in that moment?
There's nothing that has to do with different personas. It's just going to be superhero names or abilities.
Yeah, I can be.
What if they have
Okay.
different abilities between the comic and the movie?
I'll mention it if it's different between cinematic and comic, okay? And if it's a specific like timeline, I'll mention that too. Is anybody not ready? Okay. Our first question. Dark Phoenix is a movie that's coming out, right?
Yes.
What is the Dark Phoenix's name?
What?
She's known as Phoenix or Dark Phoenix. What is her name?
What if
That's right, spell
will you accept it as close as possible to the actual?
If I will
Yes,
accept,
yes, yes.
if you spell it wrong, I'm gonna accept stuff.
Okay.
Except for there's gonna be a bonus question that's worth 25 points, and you have to spell it right, and nobody's gonna get it.
Okay.
You're not gonna get it.
No. Okay.
Okay. Okay, question number 2. What superhero survived a zombie apocalypse by hiding out in a Mexican restaurant?
What? Is it DC? Marvel, right?
It's Marvel.
Yes.
So what superhero survived the zombie apocalypse by hiding out in a Mexican food restaurant?
The only one that sound even close.
If you think it's something, it's that one.
I haven't even seen all of them.
That's okay. That's never been a movie that I know of. That's
I know.
in a comic. Okay.
Oh, I never read
Okay.
it.
Okay. Next one. This is another Marvel character. Why is the character Moon Knight resistant to people reading his mind? This is a really weirdly specific one.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember why.
So why is the character Moon Knight resistant to people reading his mind?
Who's Moon Knight?
Because he's retarded.
He's in all white. Don't say that word.
Alright.
He's in all white. He
Does
kind
he have
of
a
works
cape and-
similar. Yeah, he's got a cape. He wears like a black mask and he wears a hood over it. He hasn't been in like any of the movies. This is just comic book.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Very
Oh, does he have a horse?
I got the horses and beds.
What?
Okay. This is a DC one.
Oh, I know.
In the Flashpoint timeline, who is the Joker?
Ooh.
What do you mean who's the Joker? The Joker's just the Joker.
In the Flashpoint timeline,
You mean like a little kid or like
who is the Joker?
Oh. Okay.
It's different. You know who it is. In Flashpoint, it blatantly tells
You
you
don't know what the flash.
who.
He's a
Flashpoint is when Flash went back in time and saved his parents and changed everything that happened. Flash went back in time and stopped his mom from being murdered.
Yeah.
How?
There are so many timelines.
What
From
do you
Reverse Flash.
mean?
So he stops.
You
That's
just said
Flashpoint.
it was in reverse flash.
No,
Okay,
What,
Flash.
it was reverse flash you killed him?
Flash went back.
And
So, but this is like a ripple effect from that. So that's the series is Flash
You don't
going
watch
back to
Flash?
his parents. So who is the Joker in that?
I don't get what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay. Question 5.
All right, we're at 5.
What tribe is M'Baku the chieftain of?
Can you say that
Oh
again?
my goodness, I
Yeah,
can't
remember.
I
What
just
tribe
said it
is
yesterday.
M'Baku chieftain of?
Ah! I just said
If you spell it wrong, it's fine. I will accept it.
Can I use Google?
Thanks. Is this 5?
Am I allowed to use Google?
No.
That is number 5. Number 6. Why can Star-Lord understand anybody who's talking to him? Why can he understand every language?
Because he's
Don't shout out answers.
He's a Google translator.
He works for Google.
You work
Why
with
can
C3PO.
Star-Lord understand every language?
You work with C3PO.
Isn't his dad like
Don't give answers. Don't give
Oh,
any
yes,
answers.
You'll say no. So
Okay.
he's weird?
You work with C3PO.
Number 7.
I just-
What Avenger?
You are.
This doesn't happen in the movies, but
I'm gonna read.
it is an Avenger that is in. Not the rest of the Avengers, that everybody anywhere.
Was he in Infinity War?
He's an Avenger, that's all I'm gonna tell
I
you.
think I
He's
know.
an Avenger.
It's because
He's not in any.
I'm not
It's
answering any
Gerald.
other questions. You guys don't get other questions with this. It's supposed to be hard.
But that's what
Okay.
Jacob said to go. I don't get this. And she goes, okay.
What anti-hero is immune to Spider-Man's Spidey sense? So what hero can Spider-Man not sense? Anti-hero.
Superman.
Gerald.
Gerald.
Okay. So that's number 8. What anti-hero cannot be sensed by Spider-Man's Spidey sense?
What was 7?
Don't. 7 was what Avenger could speak a language that everybody could understand.
Number 8 was from Spider-Man Free.
Victory.
I like Spider-Man.
Number 9. This is specifically comic book. This is not the movies, okay? Comic book. 8 was what anti-hero can Spider-Man not sense with his Spidey sense?
I want to have a lot of paper.
And that is somebody who's been in a movie.
Is it Victor?
Okay. So, number 9 is which Marvel comic book character has the highest kill count?
Ooh, that's
Thanos.
actually I do know
Thanos.
that.
Which?
I think it's Deadshot.
Guys,
Hold on.
next person who shouts out an answer is getting no points.
Here's another question. Is it same as a hero earlier in the quiz? or
No.
not?
None of these answers are the same.
Ah, crap.
Okay.
Is it Marvel?
Yes, which Marvel comic book character has the highest kill count?
Trying to remember.
Okay. Number 10 is probably the hardest one. Marvel did a series of what if comics. They branched off from the regular storyline. Okay? So one of them was what if Thanos won. This is a different one. There's a what if comic where Peter Parker, instead of being bit by a radioactive spider, is bit by a different radioactive animal. What is he bit by? I'll give you a 0. No shouting out anything.
Isn't
Okay?
it?
No, that's all I'm giving you for that one. That's all I'm giving you for that one.
What?
What animal was Peter Parker bit by in the What If comic where he was not bit by a radioactive spider? Okay, and the last one. Last one's a bonus question, okay? The last one is, when they're packing up all the stuff in Spider-Man Homecoming, Happy says the last thing they need to load is Thor's magic belt. What is the name of Thor's magic belt? And spelling counts. Okay?
I'm out of that one.
I watched that yesterday. Just kidding, I played Fortnite all day.
Yeah, we know.
And
Okay.
I won first place in wrestling.
So what is the name of Thor's magic belt?
Who would name their belt?
He named his hammer.
I know that one.
Okay?
I can't remember that.
All right.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay, you need to pass your stuff. That's how I'm taking your tenant. So if I can't read it, you're not getting any points for today. 10 was in the What If comic, what radioactive animal is Peter Parker bit?
Is it an animal or an animal?
No, it's an animal. Okay,
Word is.
so Blades apparently not getting any points. Everybody else swap.
What do you mean swap?
Everybody else swap. So you're gonna like be grading someone else's.
Ricky, I'll read this. We don't have to read it.
That would be funny. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna see once you guys all swap. No, Blade, if you threw yours out, then you don't get to grade.
That's how happens in the first class. Peter turned in.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go through. Let's see if you guys as a group can figure these ones out. So the first one is, what is Dark Phoenix's
Way
name?
up in the ditch.
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. Jean Grey.
Oh, I got that
So
right.
go
X-Men!
Jean Grey.
X-Men!
Okay.
How did I
All right.
know that?
Look, I got it right. Wait.
The second one.
Spell it right.
Okay, you can set yours aside since it's green gray.
Yep.
I'm just gonna put yours right
Yeah, I
here.
didn't spell it right either.
I put G-R-E-E-N.
But I did get it right.
Okay. Second one. What superhero survived the zombie apocalypse in the next restaurant? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Why can the hero Moon Knight resist psychic readings and psychic attacks?
I put it in the pass.
Okay, go to the next one. Moon Knight has multiple personality disorder.
Oh.
So he has one personality based on Wolverine, he has one based on Captain America, and he has one based on Spider-Man, among other personalities.
It
So
looks
they
like
can't
Batman.
read all of his personalities at once, so that's why he's immune to most attacks.
I should have known that one.
In the Flashpoint timeline, and I had to find all the pictures were horrific because it's mostly fan art, and it's horrifying because the Joker's a horrifying character.
Oh yeah.
In the Flashpoint timeline, who is the Joker?
Martha Wayne.
Martha Wayne. Martha Wayne is the Joker.
Oh,
Because in the Flashpoint timeline, Bruce Wayne is
I had no
killed and his
idea.
parents survive. So Batman in that timeline is his father, Thomas Wayne, who is a drunk and shoots people.
Why is he wearing mascara?
No, this is his mom.
That's his mother.
His mom is the
Bruce's
Joker.
mother,
Oh,
Martha.
I was
So his mom and dad are Batman and the Joker.
I'm gonna stop that.
Yeah. Okay. So
Joker's gay?
What? No. Martha Wayne.
Martha Wayne is his mom.
Martha.
You can see her eyelashes. That's how Funko Pops tell you that as a girl, is the eyelashes. Okay.
Yeah, he killed his
What tribe is M'Baku the chieftain of?
Oh, well, I shouted it out.
Yeah, you did shout it out. It's the Jabari.
Yeah, that.
I got that one right today.
There's
My
a
dad
3D
got
printed
that.
It's
Oh,
so
my
cool.
dad's getting that fast. I didn't know.
Okay,
Cool.
here, go sit back down.
Wakanda.
Sit back down.
Look, imagine this
What kind
shirt.
of thing you talking about?
So, why can Star-Lord understand every language?
Because he's quite celestial.
No.
He's a demigod.
Nope.
He's a
Has nothing to do with his
I
lineage.
have the answer. Is it
Understands their native tongue. No.
Oh,
Nope. Go ahead. Thor. Thor can speak all tongue. When he speaks it, you hear it as the first language that you learned. So he doesn't speak English, he's speaking all tongue when we hear him. So I'm assuming like Black Widow probably hears it as Russian, right? Because he's speaking all tongue, which everybody understands as their own language. That's probably also why he speaks so formally.
And the Good Place. Have you ever watched that?
No.
Oh,
That was number 7. Okay? Number 8. What anti-hero is not affected by Spider-Man's spidey sense? Venom.
Venom. What Spider-Man?
Also,
What?
this is the steel book cover, and I just
So he
realized.
says it's his mouth.
Yeah, Venom right there.
Oh.
Yeah. So Venom cannot be sensed by Spider-Man. Okay?
Yeah, that's what
Wait, I have a question. Why can't he be sent?
He's just immune to it. Like Spider-Man cannot sense him. It's something about the symbiote.
Well, he can die. Like,
The spider
you know
did.
something about the symbiote?
Well, no, it depends
Venom
on.
is the symbiote.
Okay. Hey, it depends on how loud the sound is. Depending on how loud it is, it'll mess with
Yeah.
the kill.
So the only time we really see Spidey sense in the MCU is Infinity War when the spaceship show up, right? His hair stand up.
Oh, yeah. And then
So-
he goes back. He's on his phone.
What Marvel character in the comics has the highest kill count?
Deadpool.
It is actually the same as the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Thanos.
Thanos.
Yeah.
I got it right. I actually got that right. Did you put
Right?
that?
He snapped his finger and killed half the people in the universe. That's
DC.
yeah.
Is that really?
Don't say that.
Or did they just cease to exist?
I bet you weren't gonna spell
Is
it.
that the same thing?
They all turned to dust.
Sit down, dude.
He legit put half the population.
In the What If comic,
Thanos looks dumb in the comic.
in the What If comic, what animals Peter Parker bit by?
A hedgehog.
Oh.
A pig.
Not a
Did you put a wolf too?
Go to the next slide. He is bit by a sheep.
What?
Did anybody get
sheep?
the name? Yep. What If starring sheep?